Hello everyone, my name is Kei He. I'm a composer and multimedia artist. I teach at the University of Arizona Fred Fox School of Music. During this short lecture, I would like to talk about a relatively new type of performing art form called multimedia. Before we learn how to make multimedia works or introduce my multimedia works, we need to know some of the backgrounds and how it works. The term multimedia refers to the use of a combination of different content forms such as text, audio, music, pictures, animations, videos, dance, poetry reading, acting, and nowadays a lot of interactive contents. The first use of this term was in 1965. That's why I was saying relatively new. It's not like other classic forms in performing arts, which has hundreds years of history. Living in the modern society, we are constantly overwhelmed with multimedia content in the forms of text messages, daily text messages, and TV shows and advertisements, and also absolutely, things on the internet. Therefore, we are so used to receive information in more than one form at a time. Although we may not be aware of it, but today's audience, us, are expecting and looking for new and different ways to experience the performing arts. Also, along with the development of technology, we have subconsciously formed many basic standards of what is a good multimedia product. It's not simply about how the end product looks, sounds, or feels when you touch, but also how easy they can be understood. Are they easy to use? Are they easy to navigate? A good multimedia product is using various media that's supporting each other and create a positive overall user experience rather than a conflict in a way that they tend to cause confusions or distractions. These are standards, right? Provide us a general guideline of using multimedia as a tool to communicate. All of these industrial trends and technologies have made using media as a cool platform to showcase the artworks. But how do we feel about all the artworks? Or why do we make such artworks in the first place? We make personal judgments, subjective judgments, and the choices about what we personally like or dislike, what intrigues us or evokes strong emotions in us, or what we don't really care. These choices are culture-based, what I call culture-based. It's based on the background that we have, based on our personal experience. This is the artistic statement that we made in the process of creativity, which is the heart of multimedia works, which is the heart of any type of artworks. But if there is no artistic statement, or in another word, culture, then technology is just like a power tool. It cannot help us to create beautiful artworks. So here I'm going to talk about my multimedia works. Most of them involve live musicians on the stage, fixed and live electronic music, and video projections. It is a very simple and straightforward form of technology, which means it's a very handy, straightforward power tool. But it has endless possibilities if it was driven by different artistic statements. In this type of multimedia work, I use live audio processing such as reverb, delay harmonizer, granular synthesize, looper, etc. Live electronics are relatively easy for the musicians to synchronize, because once you create your patch in Max MSP, which is what I usually use for my live processing, I will follow the musician during the performance. But I also incorporate fixed media playbacks, both audio and video. Therefore, the synchronization between the live musicians, audio and video clips can be very challenging. I overcome this difficulty by separating or cutting large audio or video files into smaller pieces, smaller cues, that individual cues can be played in sync with specific matching video cues that can be triggered by using either a MIDI keyboard, a MIDI pedal, or USB pedal, or even can be triggered on the keyboard on computer. Each new cue serves as a checkpoint. Like you play video games, you have to pass that checkpoint. Otherwise, you have to start way far, behind. So the musicians can resynchronize with the fixed electronics every single time when we advance to the next cue. I intentionally make each video or audio file longer than its expected duration for the performance. So it is easier for the live musician to synchronize with the fixed media electronics, and also transitioning to the next audio or video cue smoothly. In this type of multimedia work, I link different forms in the media together to support each other as a whole and create a unique audiovisual experience that engages the audience. The piece I'm going to introduce is called On the Threshold of a Drizzly Reality. It's a 9-minute piece for cello, electronic music, and video. The piece attempts to describe a mixed world of both my ideals, my dream, and the stone cold realities of my life. I believe that everyone and everything enters my life for a certain reason and at a certain time. This piece too came into my life with a purpose. It is, to me, it's a soul-searching piece. It describes the powerful emotions and the imaginations, and also reveals the various hard aspects of the reality. The cellist is on a stage alone, which is a symbol of an individual's isolated existence in the world. We experienced a lot of that last year. The electronics are the illusion. The processed cello reveals a mysterious world which sings simultaneously with the live cello. They are tangled with each other, and the audience is unable to distinguish what is real and what is the illusion. reverbs are added to the live cello and are used to introduce a spatial temporal variation of the reality. But in contrary, in the reality, you can't really change the acoustic properties of a space without changing the space itself. So that's also another way to represent illusion. Essentially, I was interested in creating the illusion of a sound world completely dominated by this solo cello on the stage, rather than introduce two separated sound sources, that one is the instrument and one is the computer sound. In the video of the A section, which I call Entered the Mysterious World, everything is blurry, but with saturated colors, portraying a feeling of being lost and experiencing vertigo in a maze. As the cellist pours more emotions into the music, an endless pathway is shown on the screen, that continuously going down the hallway like there is no exit. In the middle rhythmic section, the B section, the repeating notes travel through the stage and the surrounding speakers on the stage, creating an effect that represents how fantasy and reality seem so interfused together sometimes. The pitch I use are the main pitch. Two main primary pitches that I use in this section is E and E flat. They strongly interact with each other. This half-step motive create conflicts in the music, while the electronic music uses pre-recorded cello sound based on the same pitch material, but with distorted sound effects. These electronic elements sound as if they came from a totally different world, while the live cello sound punctuates and also offsets the electronic cello rhythmic pattern. The live cello and the electronic elements sounds like a duet together, that between the cellist and the computer. In this section, I intended to create a battle that between the individual and the reality. The video of the A prime section brings back this life cycle symbol, which I created by using a water drop image, which is developed in the middle rhythmic section, the B section. In the B section, the water drop gradually turns to different shades of red colors, and started to dance with the music. The video interacts with the music, but the image is focused exclusively on the life cycle material. In creating the video for the section, I intended to use the simple visual materials to contrast the complicated rhythm in the music, to represent a sad, maybe sad reality that I was going through. No matter how hard that an individual fights the reality, he or she will still have to live in that reality. Okay, I think I'm running out of time. If you are interested in my multimedia works, you can find more on my website, kayhecomposer.com. I'm also the director of Turn Up Multimedia Festival. It's a festival that promotes equality and inclusion, culture connecting, and the interdisciplinary collaboration. We're trying to turn up the visibility of underrepresented artists and bring true equality to art and technology. If you are interested in submitting your work to our festival next year, please visit turnupfestival.org. Thank you.